So we have three things now. We have the world. Okay, please write down. One Brahman, one truth, one supreme consciousness. One truth appears to us as the world, planets, galaxies, mountains, rivers, the world, the God principle, right? We know that God principle exists. There is something more than us. Even science has begun to concede to it somewhat, or those half scientists, half sage like people are saying that. And thirdly, there are the individuals, the trillions and trillions of grasshoppers, the billions and billions of humans, right? What, 8 billion humans we are now? How many? 9 on Earth? So many, right? So these individuals, these are all reflections of that one Brahman. So would you like to receive the Sanskrit name for these three things? Just wondering. Some of you, if somebody says yes, I'll give it.
There is interest, yes.
There is interest. So the individual, living individual is called Jiva, Jiva. I think Ishani will write them. The individual principle is called Jiva. The God principle is called Ishvara. And the world, the physical world, which doesn't include just Earth, but ever-increasing galaxies, this whole world, physical world that you see, it is known as Jagat, Jagat. Hypothetically, at the time of self-realization, when you realize that you are none other but Brahman, you're not Jiva, at that time, the world, the God principle that you are worshipping, and your individuality, everything will coalesce into one conscious awareness, one awareness. We're not going to go there now. So you can say, till you are in Maya, you see three things separately. Me here, God there, world here. And when you wake up from Maya and you are liberated from samsara, there is nothing but Brahman, and that Brahman is you. It's a big leap, but for some of you who've been with me for some time, this might be a consolation to know that the separation of the individuality is temporary. The unity is our final truth. Okay, these three Sanskrit words are not important to remember. What is important to remember is the name of Ishvara. And what is important to remember is the technical name for you. I am a Jiva. Ishani is a Jiva. Jason is a Jiva. The animals in your homes are Jiva. The cockroaches in your kitchen drain are Jiva. And when we take birth in one of these species. All Jivas are struggling towards their chances for unity with Ishvara, unity with or knowledge of Brahman. We say unity with Ishvara, but do you see that if everything is Brahman, then there is no need for unity because we are already one. It's only when we feel separate that we want unity. Do you see that part? Because if I was operating from a belief of oneness, then we are one, even to the people who are hurting us. But in the transactional world, we have to say, okay, let us all meet in the United Nations and work upon our unity. Why? Because now we are agreeing that we are jivas. So in the transactional realm, until we completely wake up, until we are still struggling, we are jiva plus atma. But when we wake up, we are pure atma. Got it? Does that help? Please write here yes. I'm still trying to figure out how much to share with you, what not to share with you. So you're teaching me.
There are
Do more
replies.
than a
Yes.
couple of people say yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You'll have to take some notes now when I teach. And I would suggest keeping a Sanskrit, what is it called, Ishani? List?
Like a glossary.
Like a glossary. Keep a glossary for yourself. I'm not going to pile you with Sanskrit words, but like three words that are really important. One is Brahman, the absolute truth. It's uncompromising. Then there is no distinction between the world, between God principle and you, the individual. It's one, the ultimate reality. But when we come down from that ultimate reality into our current reality, then that same Brahman principle concedes to shining as Ishvara, becoming the world or appearing as the world to us, and acting as this inner self within us. That's why we all feel very familiar when we look up in the sky. We feel like it's reminding me of something. You know what? It's reminding you of you. Because at that deep, deep level, we are one. That is the Brahman principle. Okay, thank you. You're saying to me, please share. Great. So Brahman comes from the root word Bri, B-R-I-H, Bri. Say it, Bri. Bri means that which is eternally expanding. Why is it eternally expanding? Because it's infinite. And why is it infinite? Because nothing can limit it. Nothing. It supersedes everything. If you look at a mushroom, that's Brahman. If you look at a puddle, that's Brahman. If you look at your enemy, that's Brahman. If you look at a candle, that's Brahman. It's infinite. And Ishvara comes from the root word Ish. Ish means the inner control or the inner intelligence. And Jiva comes from the root Sanskrit word Jiv, G-I-V. And Jiv in Sanskrit means life, life principle. So life principle, whether it is in a bacteria or a virus or a human, that life principle is also Brahman. God principle is also Brahman. And world principle, as in the world here, world there, a world under the oceans, world in the honeycomb, world in the whole world. It's all Brahman. And bhakti is specifically the engagement of the jiva, which is the life principle, with Ishvara, the God principle. Right now, when I teach you Bhakti Yoga, I won't bring up Brahman too much. Why? Because we've already accepted that we're not there yet. We're here. And right now, we just see something we either our religions have told us, or our heart has told us, or I'm telling you that something is beyond this mess. Something is still shining, because between the three, the world principle, the God principle, and the life principle, the God principle shines the brightest because it is the closest to the ultimate Brahman. So if I wanted to connect with Brahman and I didn't know how, so then in my case, I chant Om Dum Durgayai Namaha, because I see Durga as a conduit, a God principle for me, connected maximally to that. I don't say, I love my father, for example, but I don't say Om Daddy Namaha, because my dad is very respected and dear to me, but my dad is another jiva. albeit with 35 or 40 more years of experience in samsara, but another jiva. Although I bypass him and I say Om Guru Ve Namaha, because the only person, the only human that we put in that higher category in Bhakti Yoga is towards the Guru, provided somebody is your Guru. Because I teach this to you doesn't mean I'm your Guru. Provided you know they are your Guru and they know they are your Guru, that's the Guru. And so if they are your Guru, then we don't have human relationship with the Guru. We separate them out. And typically Bhakti Yoga is with something that is put on a higher level to us. So we can also have bhakti towards our people have bhakti towards their national allegiance, for example, or their national flag, for example. This is like modern day interpretations of bhakti. But the classical interpretation of bhakti is only towards Ishvara and Guru, because in the Vedas it is said that if Ishvara took form and Guru took form, who will you bow to first? And then the teaching is bow to your Guru first. Why? Because the Guru told you about Ishvara. So this is the classical understanding. Then lately people are having, okay, I'm going to have bhakti towards my mom, my dad, my sister-in-law. These are all like modern versions of, or my flag. But these are more secular things out in the world. Yeah? Okay. And then the gurus took advantage of being the source of, being the being the pulse of bhakti, and they go, have bhakti towards me, and then we have all this, rest is history. What happened? It was misused. But when I say bhakti here, then when I'm teaching it from a perspective of also Shraddha. Because Shraddha, your learning is a fierce understanding and a commitment to understanding the teachings of the Guru and Vedanta, or the Guru of Shastra, or of the text. So very carefully, bit by bit, if we realize that definitely this particular person is a guru, not because they say so or their website says so, but my deepest being says so, that this person changed my life deeply, not occasionally, not on Tuesday evenings, but genuinely, deeply, fully. And I approached this guru and this guru accepted me. And any thought of that person reduces my sorrow, or any teaching from them reduces my sorrow, then you can have a devotional bhakti. This is the classic way. It's my job to just tell you. I've also told you the other side of it, that students get confused and gurus take advantage. So I'm just presenting you the facts. But in the classic, beautiful tradition where I come from, where my guru was truly Ishvara incarnate for me, then who else was Baba but Ishvara coming in a white beard and teaching me to become the person I have become today, and to be not lost in the samsara in my mind and samsara in the teacup. Who but Ishvara came. Anyway, so time is up. Any questions, Ishani, on this? We shall continue.
There were a few more questions. There seemed to be around the concept of love as a creative force. It feels like a whole entirely juicy, wonderful topic. So I wonder if you would like to hear those questions now or hold them for another session.
Yeah, let's hold them. Let's discuss them, you and I, and then we can see how to address them. Definitely very valid to reserve them for a time we can explore. 。
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. It's been a joy and a privilege to share these deeper teachings with you. In prayer for all the innocent people in Israel, Palestine, and Ukraine, and all other territories, and Russia, where it's going back again, and all the territories wherever war and ultimately sleepwalking behavior is afflicting and causing suffering to innocent humans. May our collective prayers go to them. Shantam Bhava, Shantam Bhava. Jai Ma.